What's up, guys? It's K4 Troy here, and before we get into episode 6 of Talks to Troy S, so that diddly dang intro. Damn, son. And Troy is here, I guess.
Hi. I was focusing.
He's not too important. He was doing the intro.
I don't matter at all. Never will.
So, now listen, I'm gonna tell you straight here. We've filmed this damn thing before. It was kind of painful, but everything got deleted. So, whatever, we're going to do it again. What we're going to discuss today is Vane. I'm sorry. What we're going to discuss today is Vane, which was our latest film. Kind of talk about it, thoughts on it.
I'm going to look super small if I'm sitting down like that.
And then, we're also going to go into some future stuff. And, yeah, that is what we were talking about, yeah?
Yeah, that's
okay,
correct.
Sweet, alright. Then, you know what? You want to kick it off?
So, we filmed Vane.
We sure did.
Vane was fun. So, if you haven't seen Vane, go check it out. This made a lot more sense to be talking about 3 weeks ago because it had just come out.
Yeah. Hey, just so you guys know, really fast. I'm sorry. Spoilers. I'll put up on the screen. Get the hell out of here if you haven't seen Vane.
Spoilers. Okay.
Or season 1 of Survivors, because we'll probably talk about that.
So, this is... I hate chairs.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. So, essentially, Vane is the unofficial kind of prequel, or is it official?
It's official, but I mean, like, it's not based off that idea.
It's, so, we made Home a long time ago. If you've been watching the channel for a while, probably seen Home.
Far away.
It's the first thing we ever put on the channel. It was a short film we wrote and directed in a 24-hour period. And did the whole thing in a 24-hour period and then edited it like the next day after that. It was written by myself and Matt Ehlers, who plays...
He couldn't be with us today.
He cannot be with us
today.
today.
He plays Call on Survivors,
yeah. So, we just decided one night, let's write a really quick horror short film it tomorrow. We did it. It was fun. Everything went well. First video was ever on Troy S. And then...
That's actually what launched Troy S.
Yeah,
it was kind of fun.
and then you came along and decided you wanted to write a prequel to it.
Yeah.
And we made Vane, so you can talk now, because I'm going to shut up.
Sure, no, you're good. So, to go into that, essentially how that came about was our buddy Christian, who, he hasn't done a whole lot on the channel, but you can see him probably
He's been involved in a lot of stuff, he's just not really on camera.
He does a lot of pop design. You can see Christian Donald a lot in the credits. But actually, he helped me develop Vane. It pretty much came up with me and Noah, who plays the main character in Vane, and is in a lot of other films of ours. And Christian, we're like, hey, let's make a really scary, complex, confusing horror film and make it really good. And I think we accomplished that, especially the confusing part. A lot of people were very confused with Vane. And then as we started to turn it out, we're like, hey, why don't we add a bit of spice to this and make it fit into the storyline of Home and make it a prequel, which was pretty cool. So it was like, kind of like, I guess you could say it was forced, but it's not really, because I mean, like, you can watch Vane, never seen Home, you can watch Home, never seen Vane. Completely disconnected, but they're in the same universe, and I felt like that was really cool, and it also opened up a lot of different opportunities for future films that we make as well.
In that genre, because it's kind of our, I guess, I don't want to call it a series, but it's kind of becoming the universe that we're creating horror-based stuff in. Originally, actually, I wasn't even going to be in it. I wasn't even invited to be in it, because you and Noah and Christian are a bunch of dirty bastards.
Bunch of dicks. Yeah.
But I just had like a free weekend, and I had nothing to do, and I was like, hey, you guys want to hang out? And they're like, actually, we're filming for Vane, and I was like, ooh, I'll be in Vane. And then we just made a character up on the spot, because the nice thing about Vane is there was no official script.
This is fun. Yeah.
There was an outline of what was going to happen, but all the dialogue was pretty much on the fly, except for a couple like really key things, right?
Yeah, a couple of really key things were wrote out, because we wanted to make sure that got particularly, you know, like
it was important, specific stuff that really needed to be in there for story's sake.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was completely ad-libbed, and it was just more of like a beep bop. I'll jump on in here.
Yeah,
and it was fun. I had a good time, and now, hey, I'm talking about it because I actually know about the project.
Right, and what I said in our first doing of this video was that I personally, and I still do think that Vane is emphatically our best film so far. I think that the acting's on point. I think that's very scary. I guess we can. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. I've been in school recently, so I feel like we're kind of getting used to the more PC world. But my point being though that it's very scary. It did its job, and the thing is, right, is I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Do you remember what I was talking about?
Okay, we're back officially.
Okay. Jeez, guys.
Do you remember what you were talking about?
Jeez. Yeah, you know, whatever. Pretty much what we're trying to get at is that Vane was a big success, and I think it's one of those things where what's really cool about it being in the same universe as Home is that it's also a very completely different horror movie. It reminds me of, well, this is actually on a more dramatic level, but you have Cloverfield and then 10 Cloverfield Lane. Same universe, completely different styles of horror movies. You got one that's big monster, alien sort of movie. Then you got another one that's a very contained thriller happening in a house trying to survive that world. And it's really cool that they did that. If you haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane or the first Cloverfield, go check them out. But yeah, so Vane is very similar to that in that way. I think we can move on from Vane.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say is, it's a repeat of what we said earlier, but go watch Vane, go watch Home. If you haven't seen either of them, you're not going to notice any like flowing story really, because there's not. But you'll notice subtle things in between them, and there'll be like references made in Vane to Home, and there'll be things. Well, I guess we didn't make any Vane references in Home because it wasn't created yet. Right. So you'll see the tie-ins, and if you're into that kind of stuff and you like horror movies and you think we're pretty neat, because I think we're pretty neat, go watch them. So we're gonna move on to topic number 2, which is
no, we're not. Really quick.
Just kidding, we're not.
Really quick, I just want to say that for future films, I would recommend. If you don't want to watch solo credits, that's fine. I get it. Skim over the credits though to make sure that there's an after credit scene, because we've been doing that more recently. There's an after credit scene Survivors, after credit scene in Vane, and the Vane one is like that one's a really big deal. So I would recommend. If you haven't seen that, or if you haven't seen Vane yet, make sure you watch it.
And I'm in it, so if you just think I'm like, you know, the cat's meow.
What the hell?
What? The cat's meow, you never heard that?
Cat's meow.
It's like, you know, cream of the crop. I think I'm pretty cool. Go check it out.
Okay. Alright, so moving on to the next topic. We got, we're just going to discuss like future films, I guess. Something I wanted to say really quick, just right off the bat, get this out of the way before we have to, you know, keep talking about it. Survivor Season 2, not happening. It's done. It's canceled. Do you want to put any input on that whatsoever? Or are you just like, thank God?
It got the kibosh. Well, I don't have to edit it, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Basically, due to some creative and personal differences amongst the franchise.
Yeah, I mean...
It wasn't even that. It was more people just were like, look, I don't want to commit all this time again. Some people were really wanting to do it, and some people weren't. And we were just like, look, we can't have a 100% dedicated cast with everyone who wants to be here and wants to do it. It's not going to work, so...
Right, and it's not like a very flexible film. It's you know, obviously if season 1, you know, with season 1 being a feature length, season 2, even if it's shorter, would still have to be a feature length though. Yeah. Just to top up with that, and you know, it's difficult, right? Because pretty much what it comes down to is there were actual creative differences. He's right in saying that it definitely came more down to time constraints and be like, dude, I just don't want to do this, and like. Is fair. That's fair. That's completely fair. Survivors was not an easy thing to do. It was not an easy task. And it's one of those things where it's like you can set aside and just be like, it's just making a movie, guys. But it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to do it well, it's not just making a movie.
Right. No, it's a
there's
long
There's
process.
a rule that those of you who have had a certain teacher at our school will recognize. It's also a general rule in film, which is
kind of excited.
For every minute you film of good usable footage, you spend an hour outside of that. And I think it's more than an hour, because I think an hour is when you're doing like really small like dialogue scenes and stuff. But when you're doing action set pieces, anything that requires coordination between multiple groups of people and a cameraman, you're doing 2 hours for a minute almost.
Right.
When you're doing hard, really high strung, difficult stuff. So time constraints are a huge thing. They're a really, really, really big thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And, you know, that kind of just right there explains why Season 2 is kind of a difficulty to do, especially with us going into our senior year now. We're in our senior year. It's already kind of flying by. And,
like 4 weeks out almost.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of weird to think about.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's kind of a shame, but to be honest with you guys, I'm not too bothered by it because it's one of those things where, think about it like this. Originally, season 2 was a necessity. Originally, it was. It was a direct sequel to something that was left off in season 1. Season 1 changed its ending, so that way we didn't need a season 2.
Right.
Then, a lot of people said, they're like, of course, and I predicted this. I was like, all right, some people are gonna want a season 2 then.
A lot of people want a season 2.
Right,
So
a lot of people want a season 2.
popular demand was definitely in favor of a second season.
Right. And to be fair though, I hate to admit this, but my mom actually gave a really good point that kind of woke me up. She's like, you know what? Why don't you take all that anticipation for season 2 and apply it to other things? Which brings me to my next point, good little transition here, that we're going to be exploring new genres because we don't want to become a one-trick pony. Especially with our 100 subscribers. Just thought I'd say a big thank you.
YouTube, where's my golden play button?
Seriously though.
I want that.
What if they just sent a pile of shit in the mail? They just be like, here you are,
the plastic button.
Oh, yeah, no, the plastic button. I take it. Set it right here. No, but, what I was saying though is that, like, we're gonna try to explore more genres, and the next 2 films that we're working on do have a darker outlook, just because, like,
Definitely.
look, we're good at dark stuff. And who doesn't like dark stuff?
I think the
It's
dark
fun.
stuff is more fun for a couple of reasons, and I actually touched on this in the last one, so I'm glad you brought it up because it reminded me. I like dark stuff when it comes to my stories that I view or read or listen to.
Yeah.
I like my stories to have darkness in them, and that's not 100% across the board. I don't want to come across as some like emo like piece of shit like who's just
I feel like everyone gets it, but yeah, go ahead and explain.
But I just think that having a darker aspect to is it still filming?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I like having a darker aspect, which I've said a lot of times in the last couple of seconds here, to the stories I hear, because I think that there's a lot of really bad stuff that's going on in the world. There is. And putting characters in situations where they have to deal with that really heavy, hard-hitting, violent stuff, or where there's really tragic events going on, it kind of breaks you down to past, all the layers that you build up as a person, to like build up, I'm gonna be a funny person, I'm gonna be the really like witty person, I'm gonna be the sarcastic guy, all of those things that you build up to build you into a person, I think they go out the window when tragedy strikes or when there's really like hard, difficult to deal with stuff. And I think that at that moment you kind of get to see past who a person is and more into their soul, and you get to see what they are broken down without society kind of impacting them in that kind of I need to create and cultivate interesting character traits about myself. It goes right past that. It goes right to the who they are at their very center, and I think that only really dark events can have that. That's why my favorite like, I guess I don't want to call this genre, but like type of movie setting is the apocalyptic setting, which you might have seen in Survivors, but actually wasn't my idea. But it was seen in my feature film, which is called I Loved You, and go watch that. I'm in that too, so you're not gonna want to miss it. But it takes place in a world where there's an apocalypse going on. There's something horrible happening to the world, like a major event, and it breaks down all those things and it puts characters in situations they wouldn't be in, so that they have to act and figure out solutions to problems that they normally wouldn't encounter. And I think that's why I like the darker stuff. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to do funny stuff. We literally have a comedy film and a fun thing planned.
Yeah. And first off, that was very well said, by the way. I just thought I'd say that. Do you want to continue on, or?
No, that's all I want to say.
I just want to say that, like, especially with Survivors, like, that adds, like, a whole new layer of darkness to, like, just based on the fact that it's kids and made by kids. I know we touched on that a lot in episode 5. If you want to hear more about that, go to episode 5 of this.
Or watch Survivors, and maybe you can learn it.
Or just watch Survivors, yeah. No, but, like, I kind of purposely kind of structured Survivors in a way to make it, like, in the very beginning, it's PG, very lighthearted and happy. Then it just yanks the rug out from under you, goes to a pretty hardcore PG-13, and then
you meet a certain character.
Right. And then
go watch Survivors.
Right. go watch Survivors right now. And then by
even if you've seen it, watch it again. Do it now.
Yeah, and then by the end, like the last like 2 episodes, it's like full-fledged rated R, hardcore, hard-hitting shit. Like it's very dark, very violent. And I feel like, along with what you were saying, even out of apocalyptic situations, even in just darker real-life settings such as...
Which exists.
I'm just trying to think right now off the top of my head. The movie that just came out, Detroit, or the movie that just came out, Wind River.
Yeah.
Both very dark, real-life situations, actually both based on true stories, too.
You don't have to leave reality to find that hard-hitting stuff. And that's why I think it's so important. Like, that's why the point I made about the dark stuff, because obviously, like, okay, I think about a film like Alien, right? Alien and the entire franchise is incredibly dark. They're in a spaceship in the middle of nowhere, you know, so far away from any like habitat of Earth where there's, you know, like recognizable social values and stuff.
Yeah.
They're so far from that, but you can still examine human characteristics even when you're not in a human setting on Earth. That's like the great thing is Detroit, a real life event that actually happened, is so incredibly dark and violent, but it was real. And you can examine individuals and characters and humans the same way by going to a place where there's, you know, going to a setting in a story that has never happened, probably never will happen, and it still kind of gives you that same look into people. So I'm a fan of dark stuff. Not for the sake of being dark, but dark for the sake of examining humanity.
And you know, I hope you guys can tell at this point, especially you parents out there that are playing parents that do watch this as well, that you see that we don't do dark stuff because we can.
Yeah.
We do dark stuff because we truly believe it is the best form of storytelling, and we believe it's what we're good at best. Yeah. And I feel like there's a certain element to it when kids are doing it compared to just some random studio head out there.
Right.
Especially in short films that are on very low budget. And you know, for being what our films are, which are very low budget, like I mean almost non-existent budget. The biggest budget we've ever had was $2,000. $2,000+ for Survivors, which included $1,000 of that alone went to the camera.
Yeah.
So it's like, and we film everything with that camera. So my point is that along with that, okay, with the fact that we are gonna keep with the dark elements, we're still gonna branch out to more genres that aren't just horror. We're gonna hit up some mystery. We might even hit up some, we're definitely gonna be doing comedy.
That's like on the docket, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's another film coming out that I'm
people.
involved in that I haven't even read the script for.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit.
But I'm sure you've read the script, right? Or at least know the idea. I don't even know what it's about. I literally was asked, do you want to play this character? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It's dark though.
Yeah,
it's dark.
It is dark, but it's very different than anything we've ever done. It's about can't really spoil too much.
Just don't say it. Yeah, you just wait for it to come out, okay? You'll know.
It's called Kin.
Yeah,
look for it.
You'll know.
Well, I can say this because it's a genre. It's murder mystery.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's jump into our upcoming stuff and wrap it right from there.
No.
Yeah. Okay. You can go eat a dick.
Right now.
So with our upcoming films, we got a variety of stuff coming up, as we've been stating, how we're trying to branch off into different things. So expect the same type of stuff as far as our filmmaking style, because, you know, as we stated, we got one camera, one microphone.
Right, one camera.
We're trying to make that into an infinite number of possibilities. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna see some new stuff, some new stories, and we got Kin coming out, which is kind of along the same lines of the dark kind of tone we've been getting.
We got a film I'm working on that's very acting, dialogue heavy about PTSD.
So that'll be dark. We have another comedy type thing possibly coming out. I haven't heard any news on that. And then I'm working on a thing which is purely just fun and like, let's see what we can do with the camera and how can we make things interesting with some editing stuff, because that kind of tends to be my forte when it comes to film making, not story. Because I'm not a very good story writer. There's a reason I don't do much writing.
Yeah, it's mainly me and Noah. Me and Noah write very differently, so you get to get varied writing.
I don't like to do a lot of writing. It's not my strong suit, but I love to get behind the camera, and I love to get behind the computer and just do it. By the way, this totally went away. I'm sure it was like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
So I like to do the technical stuff, and I love kind of the science behind making films. So I'm gonna have something that's a little more heavy towards that, so you get a little different tone in that.
I'm failing. I know.
So anyway, I think that about covers everything we talked about.
Yeah, I'll just say this real quick. It's just that one of the things that we hit up in the last video that I definitely want to make a comment on right now is that we are not one of those channels, and one of the things, and I'm not gonna name any channels because I don't want to start any shit. I don't want to throw out any shit because I have nothing against these channels. I love these channels. These are like some of the people that made me want to do my stuff here and get into filmmaking because they weren't big studios. They were short films.
Yeah.
But I feel like
filmmaking.
we can both agree, you and me and everyone watching this video, that a lot of those short films tend to be driven by, oh, look what we can do with special effects. Right. And those have kind of gone away. Well, I think
there was a big individual who was doing them on YouTube that is moved on to bigger and better things with more story based.
Right.
I'm gonna play us out here in a minute, so that's why I'm doing this, in case you're wondering.
Okay, well, a few things before you do that, before you just blow your shit right out of the water, is that I think that something that's very unique about our channel is that we have to drive our stories and our movies with story and writing and acting. Right. We can't do it with, and creative just ideas. We can't do it with special effects because the best special effects you're gonna get are what we did in Survivors.
Yeah.
If we took our time, we can like get some good blood effects and shit like that. But again, we don't make money off this stuff. That's how we get as good a music as we get in the films. That's how we get a lot of stuff. We get away with a lot of stuff in the videos because if we tried to get money off this stuff, guys, there'd be nothing on this channel. Everything would be gone. We actually just got a video deleted the other day. I made an Avengers Infinity War fan trailer because I like making trailer edits and stuff.
You got cut?
Yeah, and it got cut. And it's like, that's fair. That makes sense to me. I used a lot of stuff in there. But, you know, even without making money on it, sometimes it just doesn't work out. So, final thing I'd like to say, thank you guys very much for watching.
Yes,
you guys can look out for that film coming up rather soon here because I'm a pretty quick editor. And,
one thing I just want to bring up real quick here, because this is really the outro.
Yeah.
We talked about what we're going to try to change, right? We're trying to branch out, do more different things, kind of expand our variety. The one thing that's never going to change, that you're going to consistently get, you're just going to get films made by high school students who are passionate about movies and making fun content that people like to watch. So
yeah,
that's the one thing you're always going to get from us.
One final thing too, quickly, is that I'm going into filmmaking as a career.
Yeah.
And I'm also, when I go off to college, the fact of the matter is I'm probably not going to see my friends for a while. We're probably not going to see each other for a while.
Well, we're all going to college, that's kind of what happens.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to continue to make films though, however, and I'll pretty much take on the leadership of, we kind of already had an S drop off, like you and I pretty much run the channel, like with the 1S not really having a whole lot of influence.
Right.
And he'll drop off.
Well, it's just a shift of interest.
Right, exactly. And it's not a big deal. I don't mean that in a negative way at all. But this guy will drop off soon here, and I will still be making stuff for, you know, for my career and putting it on this channel for you guys. So this channel is going to be thriving on for a long time until maybe one day if I'm in Hollywood, I guess. So
dies. So
watch our 100 subscriber special that's coming soon. And after this video, right afterwards, stay tuned when he plays this out here. It's going to bring us right into what we made so far of Season 2. We're going to show it to you guys. You'll get to see what we made so far in Season 2. And then that'll be it. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a damn fine one. Megan? Megan? Megan! Megan!
Don't. I can't fucking talk. Don't spill that,
Don't
please.
Before we get started on episode 6, let's get into that intro.
You're too slow.
I was too. Okay, alright, go. Start over. Ready? I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Do you remember what I was talking about?
I don't at all.
Hold on. Give me like a second here to think what I was talking about. Shit.
Talking about vein, the process.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And we're back.
And we're back. I'm sorry for that abrupt cut, my lads. I kind of forgot what we were talking about.
Your lads? Cut. Don't say your lads.
Why not?
It's just really weird.
It's funny.
3, 2, 1. Okay, we're back officially.